All right, welcome to Taco Tuesday. Tonight you'll be hearing from me, and I'm gonna touch on and talk all about how to thrive and not just survive. Um, I don't know about you guys, but the last year-ish has been well, really last few years. It's been crazy, right? And then this last year, for me especially, it has been particularly crazy, busy, insane, um, and all that jazz. And so I wouldn't necessarily call it burnout because I've been burned out 100% before. Um, but I'm just feeling like tired and like meh. And it's also very cold out and I don't like cold. And so then you just kind of start to feel like slow and not wanting to do all the things. And so it's the start of a new year and it's time to turn our maybe surviving into thriving. And then the last few days, I know my kids have been out of school and we're just kind of surviving right now over here too. But they'll go back on Thursday, and that means that I've got things that I need to start doing and working and all the things, right? So I know sometimes we can feel down due to weather. A lot of people get seasonal depression. It's gloomy outside. You can't go outside and, see the sun. It's cold, all that. Yeah, cold made me not want to do anything today. Exactly. I just wanted to stay in my bed all day. And the holidays can do that, right? There's so many things going on, and we've got deadlines for our business and deadlines for, presents and hanging out with family and friends. And then by the end of it, we're just tired and we're exhausted. And then we have the new year and all of those things, right? So we could be feeling down due to the weather. Are our sales down? Are we busy? Are we stressed? Are we depressed? Is our anxiety abnormally high? Are we just plain tired? If we're feeling any of those, know that you're not alone. I'm definitely been feeling those too. So now's a great time to kind of make a change. And there's so many things that you can reevaluate to figure out what it is that you need to make a change in. Obviously, we want to reevaluate our business. Where are we at? This amazing new 20-year, all year long incentive. I want to see in the chat how you feel about that. I'm really excited about it. I think it's all very attainable. I know there's a few things like having to do with going to World Tour or SFR that those might be slightly out of the hitting every single month. But I know everyone can hit that 9 month, and I'm very excited. We've never, ever in the history of Scentsy seen an incentive like this. And so I think it'll be really fun to do every single month. So we're looking at incentives that we can definitely achieve. Now's a great time to reevaluate. I love to reevaluate things about every 6 months. And so you can do it by the calendar year, so January to June, and then reevaluate at the end of June. Or usually I start kind of February, right before a catalog change. It's like, okay, what do I want to start fresh in March? So as you're kind of reevaluating things that you want to either start or tweak, maybe completely redo, now's a great time to start making that list. What systems do you need to focus on? Do you even know what a system is? It sounds silly, and I know many of y'all have heard this before, but for 10 plus years, I was like, what the heck is a system? All these people keep saying, like, create systems. And I'm like, what is a system? It's basically something that you're doing every single day or month or week that helps you work your business. And a lot of people put systems into place in their homes. I don't know if Melanie's on, but she has a system for doing her laundry. Like she does sheets on Mondays and then, her clothes on Tuesdays. And it's like that every single week. That's a system. So if you're following up, you follow up every single day at the same time, that's your system. How you send your message. Is it the same message that you're copying and pasting or you're using in some way? That's a system, right? The way that you place your orders and how you keep track of who's ordered what. Have you even ordered anything? Your to-do list. Those are all a type of system. Now, some systems work really well, and some systems kind of need to be reevaluated. Maybe you're working harder, not smarter, and so you need to tweak it a little bit. Now is the perfect time to redo that. If you don't have any type of follow-up system, now's the time to start working on that. And there's lots of trainings that we've done in the past on Taco Tuesdays that you can find follow-up systems. They're in the workstation under training. You can find them on YouTube. Anything that you're wanting to refocus on, you can find some type of training. You can go to a leader, all of those things, right? We don't have enough time for me to talk about all of that tonight, but now really is the time to look and refocus on what you want to work on. Is it recruiting? Is it increasing your sales? What does that look like? And then how are you going to achieve that? So first, reevaluating your business. But then there's other things going on in your life that you might need to reevaluate as well. If you're feeling down from any of the things that I mentioned, or if it's something else, then here's some other things that you can look at reevaluate. How's your health? Do you need to go see a doctor? Do you need to go, get blood work done and figure out, why am I feeling so sluggish and just like bleh? Is it depression? Is it, maybe I've got ADHD and I don't know that I've got it. Maybe it's like for me, I have chronic low B12 all the time. Is it your thyroid? There's so many different things that could be going on that maybe you need to go see a doctor and figure out, is it just me? Is there actually something going on? Do you need to go see a counselor? Is there stuff that you need to work through? Sometimes we push stuff off for years and years, and then sometimes it's like, okay, now it's time to deal with those things so that way you can move on and create that life that you're wanting. Maybe it's adding in some physical activity. Working out is not my most favorite thing to do. I have some really great friends that love to work out. It's the first thing that they have to do in order to feel like they're going to have a successful day. That I'm like the opposite. I just want to like not do anything. I don't need to get up and get dressed to feel, I have another friend who's like, I need to make my bed and I have to take a shower in order to be successful. That's my husband. The first thing he needs to do in the morning is take a shower in order to like do anything. I'm like, nope, don't care. Don't need to brush my teeth. I don't need to brush my hair. I just want to like start doing stuff, right? So whatever that system is for you, that's fine as long as it's working, right? But if you're feeling like very sluggish, maybe changing up a morning habit could be better. Like physical activity. So I have 4 kids and one of them is homeschooled. And so she has decided that this year she's going to go on a walk every day. We have 10 acres and we have a nice little path to walk through. And so it's really fun. And so I'm like, okay, tell me when you're going for a walk and I'll do that with you. It's something simple. We got to take the dogs out anyway. And then I get to spend some time with her. It's like a 2-for-1. And so now I'm getting a little bit of physical activity in there and probably a little bit of sun and and I don't have to get dressed to go out because we're not in a neighborhood, so it works out perfectly. Maybe it's eating healthier. Reevaluating what we're putting in our bodies is always great. I can also say I'm not necessarily a health food addict in any way, but I have kind of reevaluated a little bit of what maybe would be healthier for me, for my kids. I didn't quit soda altogether, but I have cut out caffeine since Thanksgiving. Just me and my doctors are trying something. And while I miss it so, so much, I miss Dr. Pepper. Still maybe get a little sip here and there when my husband's drinking one. I can tell that I sleep a lot better at night and I get deeper sleep and I'm not as, I don't know, bleh, all day long. I can also tell my gut is healthier. So there's that. It could be implementing some type of planner system where, like my husband, if you've got the ADHDs, he hasn't written on this page. He has this one. I don't even Panda Planner. He did a lot of research and to figure out it's like, what do ADHD people need in a planner? And so he did a bunch of research and every day it has like 3 things he's grateful for, 3 things he's excited about. What is he going to focus on? And then the priorities for that day. So his planner looks somewhat similar to mine. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD. Does not mean that I don't have it, but compared to him, I do not. So that's just a self-diagnosis. But I have a running list. He needs it broken down into like what are the top most important priorities for him that day. And for me, I'm like, I just need a running list. My brain can look at it and I can decide which ones are most important that I need to get done that day. Whereas he's like, nope, if there's too much on that paper, I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna do it. So maybe figuring out a planner that works best for you, because what your best friend is using or your brother's using may not be the best one that you should be using. Maybe it's spirituality. I had a friend who had really high anxiety and she's gotten it under control. And so I was like, I have my anxiety has seemed like it's gotten out of control. And so I'm like, what did you do? And she's like, CBD and Jesus. And I was like, oh yeah, like believe in Jesus, but I probably don't spend enough time with him every day. So maybe it's looking at your spirituality goals. Um, maybe your budget. I know a lot of us have put ourselves, if we weren't already on a budget now. Things are tighter. Um, we don't know, we never know what the future holds, right? But being smarter with our money is definitely a great goal to have. So figuring out what that could look like might be able to um, help you find that change you're looking for. And then maybe finding a buddy to do all this with or having different buddies. You know, I have a really good friend that I talk budget with because she's really great at budget and loves that. But my friend who I talk business with hates budgets. And so we kind of talk about different things. So finding a budget buddy or a spiritual buddy or a health buddy, you know, those can all be great places to start and help keep you on track. So figure out where in life you want to start that reevaluation. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I think just as humans, and I don't want to just say women because I think it's everybody, right? It's hard for us to ask for help and to realize that there maybe is a problem and you need help with it. So don't be afraid to ask for that. If it's working on your business and you want to implement some type of system or you want to tweak something, ask your team. Post on we all have a group page that we're a part of. Ask on a group page, message your friend, Google it, kind of figure things out. You know, hey, what are you doing when you message your customers? And um, or message your upline and ask, like, hey, I feel stuck. What should I do? And sometimes I know for myself, my brain gets super overwhelmed and then I just kind of want to shut down. And I'm so grateful when I found, you know, our collaboration group where I'm with Hannah and Karen and Carol and a few others where they'll share like, here's the text I sent out to, you know, my customers today. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because I did not have the brain power to come up with sending out a text today. But because I can copy and paste that was super helpful for me. And so if you're needing that, then find someone or even ask like, hey guys, I'm really tired. It's been a long day. What has everyone sent out to their customers? And ask on a group page because I guarantee you there are other people out there who are feeling the same way. It's kind of like when you were in elementary school or high school and you're sitting there and you're listening to, you know, the teacher. You're like, I have no idea what she just said. And you're like, but I'm not going to ask. That's embarrassing, right? And so then you don't ask, but then someone else raises their hand and asks the same question. You're like, oh, thank goodness, I'm glad she asked because I was feeling stupid. We're all feeling that way. We're all going, what is someone doing? What is your idea? I need help. And so don't be afraid to ask because there are so many other people who are wanting to ask that same question. They just haven't. Um, are there things in your home that you could get help with? Do you have a spouse or a partner that you could ask for help? Do you have children where you can ask for help? My children have chores that they do every day, and I do not mind doing the dishes, but I hate unloading the dishwasher. So that's part of their chore is to clean off the counters and unload the dishwasher. We do rotate chores in our house so that way they're not, I'm always stuck doing the same one. No, they rotate, but it's very helpful for me because then I can quickly load the dishwasher and then they have helped learn how to unload it. Um, oh, is that Noemi? Yep. Oh, wait. Yep. The wonderful Liz Myers helped remind me tonight that I needed to send a project broadcast to my customers, and now I have a list of 13 people who want a reminder when it launches. Very good. Yes, mine's scheduled to go out in the morning, so I love that. And it is. It's good to have someone who reminds you and who is helping you out, looking out for you. But yeah, so if you have someone in your home where you're like, I'm feeling overwhelmed, ask for that help. I've had that discussion. I've been married for 18 years, and we've had that discussion a few times over the years. And I've gotten better at communicating to my husband on what I need and how I need it. And so it's not like, I want you to want to do the dishes. I'm like, I don't even care if you don't want to do them. I just need you to do them. And so we just pick up when one person is slacking. We've learned, okay, I realize he's super busy now. And so I'm going to pick up the slack. But I've learned to communicate when I'm really busy or stressed out. I'm like, hey, I'm really stressed out this week. Can I just get a little bit of help here and there? And it's like, oh, yeah, let me help out. Now, sometimes there is no help, right? It's not a good, as my brother-in-law's like, it's not a good time, not a good time to ask for help. Then figure out what can be a little bit different. If you're the one who's like, I can't go to sleep with dishes that are in my sink. Well, maybe that might need to be a mindset shift because I sleep very well when there's dishes in my sink because sometimes it's too stressful. I just need to go to bed and that's okay. It's okay if you go to bed and maybe your laundry isn't folded that night. It's okay to let that go if it's just been one of those weeks. So don't feel bad. Let go of that. Can you hire help? I mean, I wish I had a maid and a cook and a taxi driver, my own little Uber. I wish I could hire all of that outright. I watch like The Real Housewives and it's like really cute when they're like, oh yeah, my chef cooked my meal today. I'm like, oh, that must be really, really nice. So maybe we can't go out and hire a chef and hire a maid that comes in every day, but hiring help could mean hiring your kid or the neighbor to help label items for your business or to mow your lawn, or what does that look like for you? It doesn't necessarily mean having to spend lots of money every month, but it could mean even just hiring a CPA to do your taxes. I've kind of let that go, or I'm like, my CPA just figures out where everything belongs. As far as, and then she'll ask me questions here and there, but I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I hate it. That's like the number one thing I hate most in all of life is my taxes. And so that's something that I've hired out. It's once a year, so it's not every single month, and I'm okay with that. Can you ask help from your friends? Are there things where you're like, I need a girls' night, I need to get out, or can someone just come hang out? I remember when my kids were little, my friends and I would take turns being at each other's houses, for play dates, but then we'd also be productive while we were there. So we wouldn't just necessarily hang out. It'd be like, hey, I'll help fold your laundry while you do your dishes. And so we would kind of trade off. So then by the end of the day, at least someone's house was clean. But it was fun because we hung out, the kids were happy. And so, can you trade things? And or can they just come over and like hang out, like watch a TV show and like label stuff together? It doesn't have to be, anything exciting. But asking for help in some way can, you know, really be helpful. Or I even recently I had a friend, um, we do work together, we volunteer together, and I've finally just told her, I was like, listen, I'm super stressed out and I'm done. Like I was just like at a point where I was like, I'm done. And she was like, noted. And so she's kind of taken on a few more things in our volunteer world for me because she knows I'm kind of at the end of my rope. And so me just telling her like, I need help because I'm done, she was able to help pick up some slack. And that's been super helpful. Okay, so you've gotten all these ideas and you're like, this is fantastic. But maybe now you feel a little overwhelmed because there's so many different areas that I've talked about and mentioned that you could work on. So I want you to just pick four areas. We're going to focus on personal, family, whatever your family looks like. It, if you're not married, if you're single, if you're married, if you have 20 kids, it doesn't matter, whatever your family looks like. Your business, and then other. Other can mean church, it can mean work, it can be volunteering, whatever that other, you get to choose what your other is. All right, so now we're going to pick one focus per area. So if you have a pen and paper, or you can mentally do this if you'd like, but pen and paper would be better. I probably should have told y'all to get something to write with. Or you can type it in your phone or on your computer. So personal, family, business, and then you choose your other. And you'll pick one focus per area. So personal could be that you want to get, 20 minutes of exercise every single day. Or it could mean, you know what, I've been meaning to go to the doctor. I've had, I need to go see like a certain type of doctor. And that has been on my list for like 6 months. And so if you're like me, you're like, I've been meaning to call the doctor for a year. Now's the time. So that it might be, okay, I'm going to call the doctor. I'm going to go in. So you pick one focus per area. Family. What does that look like? Family can mean, you know what? I'm going to make a chore chart for my kids. So that way we can all do everything together. Or it could mean, maybe you have some extended family that's maybe driving you a little bonkers. And so you need to set some boundaries. Or it can mean I'm going to spend more time, with my brother. I don't see him very often, even though we only live an hour away. So I want to have more quality time. Your business. What is the main focus of your business that you really want to focus in on? Is it recruiting? Is it sales? Is it building connections with your team? Is it building better connections with your customers? What is that one focus? And then other. So say it's like church, you're like, I want to have a better relationship with Jesus. Great. What does that look like? Maybe it's you're gonna read your scriptures every day. If it's work, what does that look like? Maybe if you hate your job, it could be I'm gonna focus on finding positivity in my workplace. So there's your rough draft. Within those, and you can do this later, I want you to break down each focus and figure out how you're going to work there. So just for example, if it's your business, if you're wanting to increase your sales, what does that look like? And I don't want you to go like too in depth, right? Because then it gets overwhelming and then you're like, okay, but I could, increase my sales by being better on social media. I can come up with a follow-up system. I can go out of my comfort zone and I can visit 20 businesses every single day, right? Already there, that's too overwhelming. So just pick one or two breakdowns that you're going to do in order to work on increasing those sales. If it's personal, if you're gonna work out 20 minutes every day, what does that look like? So for me, I'm like, what is doable for me right now? It's going for a walk. I don't need to get on my fake Peloton. I don't need to go to the gym. I just need to get outside and walk for 20 minutes. And that's fine. If it's, going to the doctor, it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the doctor. And then what am I going to do after that? Some of these might require a reminder, right? Like, if you're wanting to read your Bible every day, do you need or a book or whatever? I was like, what, a physical, there we go. Do you want to read a physical copy? Is it okay if you have an app that reminds you every day at the same time? Like, hey, it's time to read, the verse of the day. Do you need a reminder to follow up? Should you put a reminder in your phone? Or, is it every day at noon when you're on your lunch break? Is that going to be a reminder enough to do your follow up? And then I would even take it a step further and do a check-in. So on your calendar, whether you use paper or your phone, I would put a check-in date. So maybe by the end of January, we're halfway through January. On January 31st, right? There's 31 days this month, right? I should know this. Yes, there are. I was right. So on January 31st, it is the last day of the month, but put a reminder in your phone that will come up and be like, it's check-in day, and see where you're at. Did you make that call to the doctor's office? Are you, working out every day for 20 minutes? Are you reading that book that you wanted to read? And just see where you're at. Now, if by the end of January, you're like, yeah, I haven't done any of that, or I've done some of it, then it's another time, a great time to reevaluate. Well, why am I not doing it? Were my expectations too high? Did I make it too hard? Is it too overwhelming? And then tweak it until you figure out what works best for you. I know that going to the gym would probably be better. Doing a little bit more cardio would be great, but just the thought of actually having to get dressed and put on real clothes and then having to go to the gym, and like I'd have to get in my car and then I have to drive there, then I have to get out of the car and then I have to go in. It's too much. It's already too overwhelming. So doing something is better than doing nothing. So it's a great time to reevaluate now and then at your check-in. Okay. Now here's the really fun part, right, guys? What is holding us back from doing any of this? Right? I'm sure this is not y'all's first time to reevaluate your business. Heather's like, me, it's me. It's not your first time to create a goal or to look at things, but you have to take a hard look at what is holding you back. Yeah, we're all holding ourselves back from something, but what is it? I know for me, even like this morning, the kids didn't have school. I'm not on my regularly scheduled program of the day. And I'm just laying in bed looking at social media. And my husband is sitting in this desk chair. So I'm in the bed right here and he's in his chair and we're sending each other reels on Instagram. And then you'd be like, did you just watch that one? And then, but it happened for like hours. It was really fun. And we had a great time. But when I look back, I'm like, I just wasted like 2 hours doing nothing. It could have just been 1 hour instead of two, right? So figure out what's holding you back. Are we watching too much TV? Is it way too much social media? Do we have friendships that are dragging us down? Maybe we need to set some boundaries. Maybe it could be family. Maybe it could just, like I said, it could be we have no energy. We need to figure out what's going on. Figuring out what is causing us to not want to get up and get moving is step one. And then we maybe need to remove or restrict what is holding us back. So for me, I can't necessarily get rid of social media because I do use it for my business, right? That's how a lot of us communicate on Facebook. But I could set a timer. I could be more, what is that? Not responsible, accountable. I could be more accountable for the time that I'm sitting on social media. And I could make it more of a priority to like, no, I'm not getting on social media until I've done all these other things that I need to do instead of what I just want to do. So figuring out what that is. And I will also say that if there are things that are kind of bringing you down negatively, also reevaluate that. It could be maybe the books or the TV that you're reading. It could be people on social media that you follow. If you're opening up your phone in the morning and you're just seeing like people that are bringing you down anyway, and they might be super positive people, right? But if they're making you feel less than, it could be like, this person earns every single incentive and I'm so happy for them, but it does not make me feel good about myself. So I might just unfollow that person. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person at all. It just means you're working through something and you might just need a break. And that's okay. You're not unfriending, we're just unfollowing, right? Let's see. Kimber, I dedicate the first 2 hours of the morning to work on my Scentsy stuff. Obviously, I have days I do so much more, but at least I know if I'm not having a good day, I have my business taken care of. That's really smart, Kimber. Very smart. Usually when my kids are in school, which, gosh, I feel like they haven't been in school forever because last week they were in school for 3 days, but I was on the leadership cruise and then they haven't been in school since we got home. But normally I would take them to school and I come home and I do like a load of dishes and then, I clean off the table and then I can get to work. And then I feel like I've done something already that day. So it's true. Stack your morning so that way you've gotten stuff done in the morning and then by lunchtime you're like, okay, that's it. That's enough for me. And then at least you've gotten stuff done. Very good. All right. I hope this was super helpful. Do y'all have any questions? Need guidance? Oh, no, I mean, smart. I also stack the beginning of the week. I've done that as well. I've gotten a little bit out of the habit, but I call myself a recovering procrastinator. And so I used to think, especially this was before I was using a planner and I would realize like what was going on. And so I'd be like, I have so much time this week. Like I'm not busy at all. And so then I'd push stuff off. And then it'd be like Thursday night and something would come up Friday. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, I was going to do everything on Friday. And now I can't do anything because something came up. And so I make my work days on Monday and Tuesday. If I have to push it to Wednesday, I can do that, but I try and not plan much of anything on Mondays. So that way I can stack at the beginning of the week. Let's see. Andrea, I make my bed 9 mornings out of 10 so I can start my day with a win accomplishment. I love that. Megan, always love when you do these sucks. Thanks so much. You're so welcome, Megan. I'm so glad you're on. Jenna, I get up 2 hours before anyone else so I can be productive. That's super smart. I would do that, except it'd be like 4 a.m. No, I can't do that. I try to stack beginning of week because I like my Friday to Sunday to be with family. Same. And thank you, Amy. You're welcome. All right. Again, I hope this was super helpful. Oh, Samantha, getting dressed, hair and makeup makes me feel better, more productive than being in my PJs. And I love that. And that's the biggest thing that I love hearing from different people is what works for me does not work for you, Samantha. Like that, me getting dressed, doing my hair does not make me feel even more productive at all. It doesn't. Like I will be just as productive in my PJs and looking like a hot mess than I would if I got my hair done, right? And I put, my face on. And so I love hearing that there are different ways that each of us can be productive and and that we're all so different. And so that's from like, there's never a one size fits all on like, this is what I do. And if you do it too, then you'll be successful. It does not mean that at all. It's quite the opposite. And so I thank you all so much for sharing things that have helped you guys. And thank you guys for being on tonight. I hope everyone's wherever you're at continues to stay warm. And then hopefully we'll all start to heat up a little bit over the next coming days. Love you all so much, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.